What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to JJD TV. I'm your host, Josh, and today we're coming at you with a little BVB news episode where we're going to be touching on 4 points. So the first point we're going to take a look at is Jude Bellingham going to Chelsea. Crazy little rumor there. The second point is obviously Moukoko's potential record-breaking week with Erling Håland not going to prison. And then finally finishing off with a little bit, just a touch of Dan Axel Zagadou, because our boy is back and I'm excited to talk about it. So let's dive into the first little talking point here, and that is Jude Bellingham. And there's been reports saying that Chelsea is looking to target him. He's a center midfielder, which is something that Chelsea was looking for. They were in the summer window, obviously spent a lot of money. They got a lot of different players in, but they didn't really address their center mid / CDM position, and they're looking at Jude Bellingham to potentially fill that position. That's coming from Declan Rice not actually signing for them after the €80 million on his head that Chelsea just wasn't willing to pay. So what will actually get the job done to see if Bellingham actually makes that jump is if Chelsea obviously is willing to spend a lot of money. And I don't see it happening the upcoming window or even in the summer. It's rumored that they are potentially going to make a cheeky little approach in January, if not the summer window. But the more legit things I've been reading through articles is that the actual targeted window will be in the summer of 2022. Now, it's typical. It's you see it a lot when players of obviously from Britain, whether it be England, well, mostly England, but even some of the other places like Wales, if they jump ship and go over and test the water somewhere else, and on the way back, they usually get a big tax on them because they usually show what they're made of and what they can do, and they're going to cost a lot of money. We saw that with Jadon Sancho, and I haven't even seen what a rumored price for Jude Bellingham would be, considering the kid's only 17 and just came here. It's kind of crazy that he's already being linked back. But Sancho and Bellingham will obviously be linked back to the Premier League and will have huge numbers on their heads to see if they go that way. But I don't see it happening anytime soon. I don't think it'd be good for Jude to jump ship already to go to all places, especially Chelsea. I think he needs to develop here a little bit more in a club that's very good at doing so. And I think that 2022 window is a realistic one, but even that is a little bit earlier for me. But we'll have to see what's going on there. But that's definitely a big talking point, is that he has become a transfer target for Chelsea FC. Moving on to our second talking point here is Moukoko. And we're going to be talking about him because this is a week for him to potentially break a lot of records. The kid, if you haven't heard about him, you're living under a rock, because he's absolutely lighting up the youth football. He's scored 141 goals in 88 games, and he has just about turned 16. This coming Friday, the kid turns 16, is eligible to play for the first team. He's already been training with the team. He's on the Champions League roster, so I mean, no issues there getting him signed up and ready to go. And we didn't sign a backup striker, so I mean, it's written in the stars that he potentially will make his debut this weekend when we travel to Hertha, and I'm pretty excited about it. He has the potential to break the record for the youngest Bundesliga player to ever play if he scores, obviously, the youngest goal, and the same in the Champions League in a few days' time after the game against Hertha. So a lot of eyes will be on the kid this weekend. We're very looking forward to it. I'd say there's a 90% chance that he will play this weekend. The only way I don't see him really playing is if we're in a very tight 1-0 kind of game. We're not looking to maybe bring him on, but even if we get 2 goals, anything further than that, I think he's going to come on. And even if we're losing, we now have a striker we can bring on, and it's crazy. So it's going to be pretty cool to watch him. We're doing a watch-along on the Hertha game, so definitely come check that out. We're going to be keeping a very special eye on Moukoko, so that's going to be looking forward to that. As we jump on over to our third little talking point, and that is Håland not going to prison. As some of you guys may or may not know, he was out on international duty with Norway. A teammate of his picked up COVID, and he actually went back to Dortmund, and the Dortmund health department said that he's fine. He wasn't in close contact, and he's good to go and was cleared to play this weekend. However, the Norwegian health department has said that they're threatening him with a fine. I've heard a rumor of about €2,000 as well as potential prison sentence. He will obviously never serve any of that, but they just really don't want him to play. They want him to quarantine until about Sunday, which would obviously rule him out for the Hertha game. But for all sources I've seen, it looks like he will be starting on the Hertha game, and that he may get a fine. I'm not even sure, but that's good news for us because we obviously want to see him lead the line. However, though, we have another striker in the mix. So, I mean, worst comes to worst, we have to start our new 16-year-old. So that's it right there. And finally, our final little talking point here. Big boy Dan Axel Zagadou is back in training. He is obviously getting closer to being fit. It's rumored that towards the end of the month, he may be able to go onto the bench and potentially start in a few weeks' time, which is awesome news for us. As we've known, we've basically only played with 2 actual center backs with Akanji and Hummels. Yes, Piszczek and Chan can sometimes jump in when we absolutely need them to, but I mean, to have someone like Zagadou feels like a new signing right now because he's someone we desperately need. Akanji and Hummels will be burnt out if they keep playing the amount of minutes that they have been, and I'm excited to see him come back in. He did a little interview where he talked about his goals, and he's looking for silverware, and he's just excited in general to get back fit. He was out for 3 months with a knee injury that he picked up in preseason, and he's going to be juicing and ready to get back. And it's going to be interesting to see where he starts and how he gets back in the team. Being left-footed, I see him start on the left center back, which means when he plays, he'll probably have Akanji or Hummels as the right center back. But it's going to be tough for him to break in because Akanji and Hummels are obviously building a beautiful little partnership in our back four, and it's going to be interesting to see if Zagadou can pick up the new formation that Favre has just done and see how he gets on and when he gets back fit. So, I mean, that's a huge boost for us. We know that with our center back issues, so that's great news all around. I'm looking forward to seeing him back in. So with that comes the end of our little BVB news episode. Just wanted to get a little bit of this content out for you guys. I thought the Jude story was very interesting, and I definitely want to hear what you guys have to think. Do you think Jude will go to the Premier League? I mean, obviously one day there's going to be a lot of clubs coming for him, but I think it's everybody's best interest, and especially his, that he's going to stay in Dortmund. So let me know what you guys think about that. Let me think what you think about Moukoko, and if you're excited to see him this weekend, because I definitely am. Let me know if you're happy that Håland isn't going to prison. I'm very excited about it. And finally, let me know how excited you guys are for Zagadou to get back, and if you see him breaking into the starting 11, because it's going to be pretty tough, like I mentioned, with the way that Hummels and Akanji are playing. But definitely let me know. I'm excited to hear what you guys have to say about that. And if you're obviously new around here, be sure to comment, like, and subscribe, and we will see you next time.